Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new piercing horror story video. Hello guys, what is the tea? What is the Darjeeling? Now, hopefully you are all doing wonderful. We are currently experiencing a heat wave here in London. I apologize if I look a little bit disheveled or like sweaty or gross. I'm so hot. Anyway, thank you for everyone who sent in your horror stories. Obviously, as some of you do know, if you don't know, I always take all of my piercing horror stories from the previous piercing horror story video. So please comment down below some of your own horror stories and maybe you can make it into the next video. And as always, if you have posted your horror stories before and I haven't read it out, you're more than welcome to repost the same story. Quick reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any videos that do come up. I upload twice a week. I know a lot of my viewers who do watch these videos aren't actually subscribed, so subscribe, girls. But anyway, let's not beat around the bush and get straight onto these horror stories. So this one is from Christopher. I was walking into work a few months ago with fresh nostril piercings. My piercer used custom bent nostril screws to allow for swelling. Custom bent nostril screws. I've never heard. I'm really intrigued as to what that was. A custom bent nostril screws. Try and say that 10 times fast. Custom bent nostril screws. But I'm a quick healer and it already gone down to the point where it was sticking up a few millimeters. Just enough for the string of my mask to get caught on it as I tried to pull my mask on put my mask on one-handed. Oh my God. These mask stories, I can't. The string snapped back and shot the jewelry out of my nose and across the parking lot like a slingshot. Yeah, it hurt. Somehow, miraculously, it was still open enough to fit another posting by the time I got home and after a few days of understandable irritation, it ended up healing with no problems. I'm a lot more careful with my mask now. Guys, honestly, as you probably know, I have a lot of ear piercings, and can I just tell you, these, wearing masks for the past year and a half, like we've had to do now, has been so frustrating, trying to take them on and off and things and not getting them caught around all of my piercings, especially like the vertical helixes here that are at the top. So the fact that you were putting it on and it got caught around your nose and flung it forward and ripped it out. I'm surprised it didn't just bleed out, you just bleed loads because of just the force of it ripping out. I still want to know what these custom bent screw things were. I'm really interested to see what that was. I'm really happy for you though that it did heal really nicely and you were able to put jewelry in when you got home and it wasn't closed up. I am quite lucky as well. Some of my piercings, they do tend to stay open quite a long time. So you obviously just happen to have the body as well where it's that, I'm fine, I'm just gonna gape here. So this is from Ash and they have said, horror story time. So when I first got my industrial done, it was healing well. After about a week later, it got pulled by my mask, for God's sake. So about a week later, it got pulled by my mask during school, causing me to have an on and off trouble with it for the past few months. Later on, a few months later, I was at a pool party for my friend's birthday and one of her friends hit my industrial and it started hurting right away. I held my face in terror and asked my friend to look at it. One of my friends almost threw up because she is bad with blood and the rest looked sick. Once I got into the bathroom and looked, thankfully it wasn't completely ripped out, but I had blood running all the way down my earlobe. In this process, it tore a bump in my ear that seemed to be scar tissue or an infection at the time that was now ripped. To this day, 2-3 weeks later, my ear had gotten much better and I hadn't got trouble with it. Here we go again with the mask girl. Oh my God, the frustrating thing about piercings is the fact that you can have this incredible experience and it can be fabulous. And then one tiny little knock, just one little knock from the very beginning, even if it's just like a little smack, can cause this chain reaction of just just absolute no. And your body's suddenly do you know what? I don't want this anymore. Bad girl, but I'm gonna now bleed for ages and cause you infections. Literally, just the tiniest little thing can just have this chain reaction of just devastation. That is, I can't. Which is why my left nipple piercing, started to grow out because I pulled it one time and just that one time at the very beginning when I pulled it, it was do you know what? I'm a head out, girls. So this is from Amanda. Piercing horror story. I got my nipples done 7 months ago and I got into a physical fight with my kid's father and I wasn't wearing a bra. I hope you're okay, my love. That's just the horror story. I hope you're not with this person anymore if you're literally getting physical fights with them. No. His belt got caught on my nipple ring and it pulled through the hole in the ball and everything. It was stuck halfway out with the ball still attached inside. I kept trying for 30 minutes to get it out and the ball came off inside the hole. I had to squeeze it out. Oh my God. There's a lot to unpack. But first of all, I'm not going to pry into your private life, but I hope you are out of this situation, where you're getting into physical fights, with, your kid's father. Wow. What, his belt was caught on your nipple? Like, I'm trying to like understand how that happened, how his belt got caught on your nipple, like how that angle would have happened. But the fact that it ripped through and then like the ball got stuck on the inside and you tried to take it out and then the ball got stuck on the inside because the bar like detached from it and then you had to squeeze it out of your nipple. Just knowing how painful nipple piercing stuff is, like the idea of that happening is just, my soul is leaving my body. I have no soul anymore. I am the ghost. Like, if you watched my last video, I was a ghost. But again, I do hope you were in a better situation because that was a lot. So this is from Ellie, and they have said, here's a horror story I'm writing the day after it all went down. Oh, we get, well, this was commented a week ago, so we almost get a live version. So I've had my orbital piercing for a good few months. It was all healed up, and I changed the jewelry, and it looked just as I planned. Fast forward, after a few months, I knocked my ear. I have multiple piercings on this ear anyway, and then it swelled up. This then caused the hoop around my ear to get tight and start cutting into my skin. Oh my god, cutting into your skin. I started getting extreme pain and ooze coming out of my ear. I tried to save it with saline solution and cotton buds, but no luck. I went to my local minor injuries to get it removed, where they tried to yank it out using a pair of pliers. I must have screamed like a baby, but to no avail. This piercing wouldn't budge. Now, due to the added trauma, the skin was more swollen, bleeding and sore. They took me to A&E, where I sat for 5 hours before I was able to get it properly removed. Possibly most painful experience of my life. Oh my god. So what I said earlier on about sometimes like the one little knot can do it, even though a piercing seems to be doing perfectly fine. This is the exact same thing. Like, their piercing was absolutely fine and they just changed the jewelry to another one and suddenly their ear was just like...
No, time to bleed.
Like, oh my god, you poor thing. When you have situations like this and you're trying to fix it, any kind of movement or like pressure or like anything that could disturb the process will make it worse unless you can actually take it out at that time. So they tried to get it out with pliers and then it made it worse when they went to the local injury place and then they had to actually go to A&E to get it out. You poor thing, Gail. So this is from Katrina. I think I'm saying her name. I finally have a piercing horror story. I love that. It's like, finally, something's gone wrong so I can put it into Roly's video. I was driving to a friend's house and I noticed that the second low piercing on my right ear was really stinging. I've taken great care of it and it never bled much. I just brushed my hair behind my ear to get some air on it. When I put my hand back on the wheel, it was covered in blood. Oh my god, I was surprised, and when I looked up, I saw I was heading towards a guardrail. Fortunately, I swerved out the way, but I felt like a big idiot. This took a turn. This isn't a piercing horror story. This is like a car horror story. First of all, I'm glad you were okay, because that's terrifying. I wonder what happened to your ear, like, to make it, what was going on with your ear to make it sting? Like, was it the jewelry not right? Was the jewelry too tight? Or was it like, you know, maybe you had an allergic reaction to it? Like, I want to know what the process was of actually why it was stinging, like what was wrong with the piercing. But how scary would that be for like, lads, I'm not even paying attention, and you go down and then it's just covered in blood? Like, that must be terrifying. I always think about this when, like, a slightly different scenario, but like you're driving in a car and like suddenly a spider comes out the vent or something, and like if you've got like arachnophobia, or even people who don't like I don't have arachnophobia, like I'm not like, I don't have a phobia of spiders, but like I hate them still. If that happened to me, I would have jumped. And like, imagine these people who like driving and then all of a sudden a spider comes out the vent, or there's one in the car and you just didn't notice it and then it makes you jump and then you crash. Like, I want to know like how often that happens, because it must happen. By the way, guys, if you're wondering if my voice sounds a bit funny, it's because I am hungover. So this is from Fox. Sorry, Roly, I was drunk a few years ago and decided to pierce my tongue. Oh my god. That is the horror. That's just it. I had ordered a piercing kit a few weeks prior to this, mind you. I had always wanted my tongue pierced, and I had just broken up with a super abusive boyfriend. I'm so sorry that happened. He hates tattoos, piercings, and he wouldn't let me get them. I was drinking with a few friends of mine. My ex had called me and upset me super bad, so I was drinking way too much. I got my piercing kit and decided I was going to do it myself. I remember sitting in the kitchen table, putting the gloves on and taking the tongue ring out, and opened a fresh 14 gauge needle. I tried to put the clamp on my tongue, and after checking it with a small mirror, I had the tip of the needle on my tongue with the clamp when the clamp slipped. Luckily, I didn't poke myself, but I'm an intoxicated buffoon. I decided to freehand it. I just grabbed my tongue and pushed the needle through. There was so much saliva that I couldn't hardly put the bar into the back of the needle to feed it through. So I did what any reasonable drunk would do. I yelled for my grandma to help me get the bar. And then what? I yelled for my grandma to help me get the bar on the needle to finish it up so it would be over. Your grandma came in and was like, "Oh, help you, girl." Piercings when you're drunk is a no-no. Same with tattoos when you're drunk, no-no, because you bleed more. Also, the fact that you did it yourself is triggering, and the fact that it was a tongue piercing, which is a dangerous one to do. I cannot get my tongue pierced. My veins are too big. The woman said to me when I was getting it done years and years ago, that if I got it done, there was a chance that she could pierce a blood vessel and I'd just bleed out because my veins were so big. I got a big throbbing tongue, girls. No, but that is absolutely like horrific. So like the idea that you did it yourself is like scary, especially when you're drunk and you're just kind of freehanding it. Like there's a big process when it comes to tongue piercings. It's not just like, that done. Oh my God. So this is from ASDF and they have said, okay, piercing horror story, here we go. Last month I decided to get my nipple pierced. Well, I had to work the next day. I should maybe add I'm a carpenter. Oh my God. Please don't tell me like you're gonna get your like nipple piercing caught in like a saw or something. Or like scissors or like some sort of hammer. Everything went well until I had to change the blade on a circular... You had to change the blade on a circular saw? Where the fuck is this going? Everything went well until I had to change the blade on the circular saw. I'd already forgotten about my nipple piercing, but because it didn't hurt anymore. I was wearing a pretty tight shirt at the time, and I don't know what happened, but I accidentally dropped the blade, and one of the saw bits got caught in my nipple piercing. The blade was pretty heavy, so it ripped the bar completely out, and well, right, the nipple was gone. The nipple was gone, girls. So I'm triggered. I'm really struggling to read this one because I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. I've said in these videos multiple times, children and animals do not mix very well with piercings. I'm now going to add carpentry. So this is from UK Wolf, and they have said one of few horror stories. One of few? You've got multiple? I got my lip pierced pretty spontaneously on a day out. I already had an energy drink and nothing to eat because I'm a twat. I mean, I'm glad you said it. Went to the shop. The piercing area was done in the basement. Sketchy AF. They pierced it and my pupils dilated to take up most of the damn eyes. I was made to stay sitting and drunk some water. I passed the F out. Oh my God. Yeah, guys, please, 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 please. Eat food before getting piercing. Do not go on an empty stomach at all. Especially if you just had an energy drink as well, because energy drinks will cause you to bleed more because it speeds up your heart rate. All is well. I get home with my new piercing the next day during group therapy, because of course I do that. My lip was pretty swollen and I realized that the bar wasn't big enough for how much it had swelled. I decided I would go back after there and try to get it changed. Didn't make it there because my lip decided to eat the ball. I spent an hour trying to pop it out the back of my lip and ended up having to pull it all the way through the other side. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And this is just one of few stories you have. Not only was the piercing done in sketchy circumstances, you then had to pull the ball and the bar out the front way just to like get it out because your lip had eaten the bar. Guys, let me tell you seriously, like piercings being swallowed by your ear or your nose or your lip or whatever it is one of the worst things to happen, because trying to get those out is so painful. And most of the time as well, you actually have to go to a doctor or a surgeon or something to get it actually cut out, because once it kind of seals over, unless you want to like rip the skin open, that ain't coming out. Well, guys, I'm well and truly aboard the trigger train, speeding down the railway about to crash over a cliff and plunge to my death. Bad bitch. Oh my God, this was a lot. This was actually quite an intense one. Like, we've done obviously quite a few horror story videos now, and this was probably one of the most intense ones we've done. Of course, guys, thank you so much for everyone who has submitted their stories. Please leave some comments down below, your own personal horror stories, and maybe you can make it into the next video. And of course, you can submit the same story if I've not read it out. Please, 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 please hit the like button. This has really, really helped me out. Thank you for all the love and support, and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you are new. Thank you to all my patrons whose names you can see beside me. Thank you for being a patron. You guys are incredible. But I have to give an extra special shout out to my top tier patrons: Austin Filden, Bouchershot93, Brenner, Casey, Cassie Hill, Cat Human, Jill Herman, Christopher John Robbie, Corin Pemberton, Demetrius Settle, James Burgess, Caitlin Wright, Kat L, Kelly Bowser, Chloe Louise, Lucy Robbins, Chris, Samuel Patterson, Savannah True 10. I need to learn how to say it now. I'm sorry. It's every tech ends as Mac. Thank you for being my top tier patrons. You guys are incredible. Honestly, there's also a Patreon link down below if you'd like to join the Patreon family. Check out some videos that are next to me as well if you want to see some more stuff that I have made. Facemask gave you everything you want to be, and Zelly bitch to tell you that you can't be you. Why is that? Because you are flawless.